Hello everybody, how are you doing? Let me do my zoom in and change screens and all the usual fun things we get to do. There, echo, echo, echo. Oh wait, I'm grabbing the wrong thing. And let's move this over here. Make that go away for the moment. Go away please, thank you. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Saturday's live stream. It's September 30th. Oh my gosh, so much fun to be going on. Let me say hi to everybody. Greetings all you good peoples. Okay, let me share the link on my social media channels since that's equally important. There's my echo. Okay, so there we go. And go to chat and say, join the chat. Chant. I can type, really, I can type, I promise. And then to Facebook we go, faster than Superman. It's fetching the preview. There it is, and it's the wrong preview, of course, because that's just how... It's funny, I made the poster, the banner for this week's last night, and posted it. And I was like, you know, when I get to Facebook today and I put the link in, it will update that poster banner, and it hasn't done it yet. I guess I have to do it like 2 days earlier or something like that. Pretty insane. So... let me see what's happening in chat. We've got everything going nicely on Everybody Now Knows. Hey, welcome, welcome. Big E's here. My gosh, Johan, Sunny, Bernie, thank you for the comment. By the way, if you guys haven't done this, I really appreciate. There's two things you guys could do for the Plugin Guru. One, if you own a library, take a minute or two and go to the website. Comments and reviews is happening. It's finally working. It's been like 9 months of not working, and now it's working. And it would mean a great deal to me if you would go there and leave a review, so people, it helps people so much to read reviews of other people that enjoy these libraries. Also, if you are one of my peoples on Facebook, I'm trying a social media experiment, and it's been great. As you can see, it's a like and share post. I haven't done one of these before, but 3 of you guys randomly are going to be getting a $50 credit to the website. And we're up to over 70 people now that have shared this post on my new library. So it's working. It's totally worth it to get that much people sharing information about what we're doing. And so that would mean a great deal to me. So hands together, head bowed, thank you. We have some fun stuff to look at. First of all, I want to point out, check these. These are new in-ear monitors. They are made by 64 Audio. I went to an ear doctor and I had an ear test, and I had him make molds of my ears. And Jason, who has done Northern Lights, is also working with 64 Audio, and they're trying to get more into the studio world. These have 18 drivers in them. The details that I'm hearing in sounds when I play sounds and when I'm listening to mixes and stuff is startling. And I've worked in really big studios, and I've played my music in really big studios, and some mixes sound good and some mixes I missed the mark. And I couldn't tell those at home. My room was kind of making everything sound okay. These are like that. Having really high quality in-ear monitors, these things are, they tell you the truth. If something doesn't have the right low end, you don't hear it. There's no room interaction. This is strictly these incredible drivers with their technology. My canals are sealed. It's incredible. So 64 Audio, they actually have, and let me find the link to this. They have a promotion thing going on with Jason. There's a really nice discounted opportunity happening if you are looking for something like this. That's for the universal version, not the ear canal created ones, but ones that just have an earbud, you know, the foam things on the end, so they'll work with anybody. They're on sale. And Jason gave me a link because we were talking about this yesterday. And I was like, dude, because I just got these 2 days ago. And here's the link. Copy this link. Let's do this. Let's open the link in a new window. I can't share it on visual because it's kind of a secret thing. They don't want it to be what the discounted rates and stuff are. Here's the link to check these out. If you are in the need and then you want to travel and you want to have, I can tell you already, I can trust these for making sounds, and I will get them very, very close, if not all the way to being final with these, which I could not say that. Where are they? Where's my little clips? I have clips in ear monitors around here somewhere. Oh, here they are. These are nice. They're like $90 on Amazon to buy really nice clips in ears. And I really like these. But it's not a tight seal like custom ear canal. And it's not the technology anywhere even remotely close to what these... I mean, I'm hearing details in my voice that are scaring me. Yeah. You have to go to their website to see what's going on with everything. Can't share discounts on screen. You have until end of day tomorrow. And Jason uses these for he sounds. Yes, these are going to be... I actually... My room is far from acoustically treated. It's... There's a lot of ambience. And my speakers are not... The low end I'm having a hard time with right now because it's being swallowed into this room and not being portrayed correctly. And so these are actually... yeah, they're not that big. I mean, here, I'll pop one out. They're little tiny custom made. They go, you put it in and you twist and it's in. And it's comfortable. I don't even know they're there. The cables that they use, this hardware end that they use, is the quality is, I mean, here's the thing. These guys currently are like one of the biggest manufacturers of in-ear monitors for tours. Seal, Adele, the list of their artists playing live, and they have a better mix than they probably... I mean, the mix is... It's shocking. It's incredibly shocking. But I designed... You can design, you can put your own logo. You have all sorts of color options and stuff to choose from. I'm going to do a full review with video and with... well, not videos, but of photo. There might be some video in there. They have some videos on their website I can use. But they have... I took pictures. It's Vancouver, Washington. It's 20 minutes away from me to this place where there's probably 30 people working. They make them by hand. They have a 3D printer. They won't let me into the room to see their 3D printer technology. And they were very protective of where I take pictures because it's not one of these things where these are made in China and sent. These are made in Vancouver, Washington by these people that are just as crazy about the idea of giving you sound as I am as in making sound. So it's a perfect marriage for me with somebody I'm happy to endorse. I don't endorse many companies. If you know, I like to say this is a nice plugin. This is a good plugin. You can use this. But I'm endorsing these. I totally endorse 64 Audio 100%. These guys are the real deal. So I wanted to say a word about that. More will be coming. Hey, DJ Ice, welcome. Ooh, God. So this is, we're going to talk about some fun things today. The big thing today is transitions. This is an area I listened to a lot of demos. I was a judge on a remix competition a while back. And either you understand this or you don't. But transitions can make a really big difference in making the music have a level of production sound to it. It's kind of the icing on the cake, but if you've ever seen a cake without icing versus a cake with icing, you would almost never eat the cake without icing. You want icing, you want sprinkles, you want the little candles and your name, happy birthday, you know? I mean, it makes a difference. It's the finished product versus, well, I'm still working on it and it's not done yet. And there's so many ways to make transitions. And so we're going to both look at some pre-recorded transitions. I need to pause my YouTube video because it's playing while I'm talking. It's confusing me. Oh yeah. So let's do this. I have this demo song I just finished using Del Norte. We'll play that first. And there's some transitions in there. And I'm going to show you how I made the transitions that you're going to hear. And then we're going to expand on it some. We're going to make a new thing. I've got, hopefully I don't get in trouble for doing it, but I have, I believe it's a Kraftwerk track and a Pat Metheny track to show you a few minutes of, because these were things customers sent me. I've got this, how do they do that? And if you have examples of things you've heard in tracks by artists, technically interesting, not just what kind of pad sound that is. I don't want to, if it's a pad sound, that's just a hunt and search. It's technically, what did they do to do that? Send me at support@pluginguru.com an email with a little MP3 file, or tell me the name of the song because I can find it on Spotify. Tell me when in the song it is that you're hearing what you're interested in, or a YouTube video, whatever. But how do you make that sound is something I want to do each week. I like doing these. I like sharing. Like, it makes me kind of dig into things a little bit and look at things. So anyway, here, let me, let's do this. I think I can shrink this. Well, it's not that exciting to look at, but here, I'll play it first. Here we go. Happy to meet you. Isn't it happy? I'll turn up so you hear this better. Here's this transition I made. Okay, so there's actually a number of different transitions in that track. Let's do a chat first to see how observant you guys were at listening. Yeah, and I'll talk about the snare too, because the snare is really cool. Send me in text the transitions you heard. There's at least 3 that I'm thinking of right now that were in there. So write down what you think were transitions, and then we're going to talk about it. I'll give you guys a couple minutes, because I want this to be a discussion. My voice seems a little loud, so I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. I don't like that my voice sometimes sounds like I'm yelling. The fast, quick ARP thingy, right? That's one. There's that build-up sound. There's a third one. What was the third one? Well, Boo actually mentioned it, the snare. So that snare, well, let's do the transition. Well, no, let's do the drums real quick because I love drums. So the snare, because right now in production, everybody likes all these really nice high perky things combined for the snare. This is Super Macho Drums from the Dope VST EDM kit. And it's 3 sounds that make up the snare. There's this. There's that. And then that. The timbale hit. This high conga, and if you look, you'll notice I tuned it up. The normal, instead of being 14, is supposed to be right here. But take conga percussion samples and tune them up in pitch, and it becomes a really... Now, the other thing I did to this, if you listen to the drum track, let me just solo the drum track for a second when the groove is going. Listen to the snare. It's not perfectly quantized. In fact, I purposely did something to it. Tell me what you think I did. Hear how it's flamming differently each time? That's because I used a technique. Let's move this over here. Let's move this to a piano roll. Here's the snare. So I selected, if I zoom out, you could see all the snares. And if you select all the snares inside of Logic, and I think other programs have a thing too, this has a thing called MIDI transform. And with this, there's an option in the list called humanize. Where's it at? And you can choose what you want it to humanize. Do you want it to do anything to velocity? No. Do you want it to do anything to length? No. But I can have it randomly do time position. And then each time I click this, if I let me zoom in. Let's see if I go over here and zoom in. Watch these lovely snares. Each time that I click, let's see if I can, each time I hit operate only, see that? Each time I hit it, it's randomly moving the notes by just 10, I could say 5, whatever, just a little bit. This makes every hit different because that's what you want. You don't want it to hear this just same groove all the time, just repeating. Hear that? So you can do that to create this human feel to a track. So now when I play this, it's way out now because I've hit operate a bunch of times, but you get the idea. So if you listen to 70s and 80s records, the reason they stand out is because there's no perfect quantize to everything. Today, everything is so sterile and so perfectly quantized, or else it's one sample where it's an off, and it's the same every time. And it's like, just be creative a little bit. It's not that hard to go in. And if you don't have the technology, you could just take these notes, go here and go to each one and just say, you know, move this a little bit, move that a little bit, move that a little bit. You could do humanize this way. You don't need a computer to do it for you if you don't have or don't know how to do it. Just find the snare and do it. And you'll humanize it yourself. But putting multiple things that hit together and then spraying them out a little bit timing-wise is a great way to get that feel. Now that snare, I soloed it and I recorded that with huge reverb. So if you see in my mix, let's get this to be, so I can resize my windows because they're always, I made them full screen and now it won't let me resize. MIDI transform is useful for all sorts of things. Yeah, you can also use it for velocity compressing. Actually, there's quicker ways to do, if you use Logic, I have a billion tricks for Logic. You can do all sorts of things right here. Hit the more button in the regions. And here you can select these guys and you can go to like dynamics. Where is dynamics? And say fixed. That, or over compress so it's even more wide, or just 25% if you want to like bring it down. But I use fixed for these guys. And then I brought the velocity up so that they were all consistent. There's all sorts of tricks in here for transforming things. Quantize to strength I use all the time. Maybe we'll do a Logic power thing at some point because it's my tool of choice for songwriting and sound design is to work here. But I recorded it so that if you see there's this snare right here. So if we're playing from the beginning, it starts. Now that's the regular snare down here in the sequence parts right there, right? So we play from 3. Then it comes to this time, that snare with reverb, I have it up here. So it's got this huge tail of reverb it's part of a transition. It's letting it join into the next groove and kind of keep this like, ooh, get your attention for a second, you know? Right? Okay. So that's one transition, is there's this cool little thing. It's not a cymbal crash. It's not some like, hey, it's a transition time. It's just this really subtle, and the ambience just keeps going. So that's one type of transition. Another type of transition I did in this was using this happy little, this is a glitch patch. Where are you at? This is track 2. So if I close this, I need to be like this. 2 is meditations. So meditations is this cool glitchy. And if you gliss, you get nice, cool. Let me get my microphone noise. And what was the go-to measure? 3. Oh, I've assigned, well here, Option K to call up key commands. My period is assigned to, let's see, go to search, right here, go to position. I have it assigned to the period button on my keypad, so I can, if you want to know cool tricks, again, I could show you for days, but period lets me pop up a key command that just pops up so I can say measure 10. I could say measure 3. I have even faster than that. If you want to get even faster, there's a command where I hit the slash and it'll play from whatever I select. So I can just quickly get to a section without having to make markers or anything. It's just, I want to hear from here, hit this button, and there I am. Okay. So again, we could do logic tricks all day long. Glissing signs is also really cool. If you've heard Fly Like an Eagle from way back in the day, glissing sound effects are a wonderful transition. And I actually made them down here all by itself. So you have the glitchy thing by itself. When I originally did this, I think I did it like this. And then the idea was to just repeat that over and over again. But what I did is I took the first measure and I used my commands to get to here, and then I hit Command T, which will split at a certain point. So that way I could repeat this one measure thing over and over again if I wanted to, and then have the gliss come up. So the gliss by itself opens the song. So that's a nice transition. Please show us what sounds you have used in your song. Yes, I will do that. Give me one more minute. Let's do the other transition, and then I will show you the, the sounds that I used. Well, here I can actually just pop up this display because it shows you all of the contact instruments used. The bass is, oh, it's on another track, but it's from Del Norte. I treated it separately. So the pluck, the opening pluck is Roomy Purity. That's right here. Okay. 2 is, I believe, the melody sound, the signs of life. And I will point out that I went in and I turned on the EQ and I EQ'd a lot of extra air. And I might have modified the filter and so forth. It might have been a warmer, right? But I wanted it to stick out in the mix with more breath. So I made it brighter here without EQ. So I did that to the breathy sound for the melody that comes in. Next up is 3, which is the glitch meditation. And it's quarter notes. You can do so many cool things with this glitch and all the different patches that are in here. So you can do, it's just insane. It's insane fun. The pad is Klamath Dry, which is a patch from the core waves. This is where some of the most beautiful pads are. are here inside of the core patches because it's just this single core patch by itself. Yeah. Pink Floyd, Ringo Divs, the most beautiful pitch glisses in China. You Crazy Diamonds, part 1 to 4. Exactly. Kid Anthem knows the parts. Now, I will point out that with Klamath Dry, it was originally really bright, right? You call it up and it's like, oh my God, that doesn't sound anything like what you're doing in your track. Just bring down the filter till you get the pad sound. Okay. And then the other, oh, why did I make you go away? I'm so used to. And then there's a, I did use a, I will talk about that in a minute when we get to the production part of this demo. Then after Klamath, there's this effect. French Frog Never Gets Old. It's a patch Airwave made, and this is what I use for the transition. The original sound, if we go to, that's part 5, and we can play it. There's all these effects in this library. We went kind of crazy because Glitch opens up all sorts of cool ideas. So there's spaceships, there's all sorts of video game arcade sounds, blasters, people dying, all sorts of stuff. Up and down fairy tales. All of these are Glitch fodder, like you wouldn't believe, okay? So I took this and I just played it like that. In fact, if I unmute this and play it, that's what I did. And then I hold down Control and I say bounce in place, and that bounced it in place as an audio file. I then took that audio file, and it's found right here. And I went into the sound editor. You have to do it not through there, but you have to actually, I find I have to go up here to find the audio editor. And this allows me to look at the audio file, and I selected the whole thing, and I went to functions and I said reverse that puppy right away. And so instead of being where that attack is at the beginning, it's now at the end. So now when I hit, if I hit play, so now I have a really cool transition sound, because those types of reverse kind of weird things, and then to sweeten it and make it a little bit more like fit the mix, I did one more thing. I added an echo to it. Just eighth notes, simple little bit of feedback, and so now the sound does this. So that's a afterwards. That's it. Put that into the mix. I'll turn up a little bit more. It just gives you this, like, something cool is coming. And so if you listen to music, once you start being aware of transitions, you will hear them everywhere. All these build-ups, everything about a build-up is because of all these transition sounds that go on for 8 measures in some cases, with this dumb snare fill, and then goes to eighth notes, faster notes, and then like 60, 128,000th notes, and it stops. Those are all, that's all transition stuff, because you have your groove idea, and then you have how are you going to get to that groove idea and keep everybody kind of like flowing and knowing what you're doing. So transitions are that role in music. And there's other examples of that we're going to look at. So was there something else I was supposed to show in the... No, I showed the sounds. I showed the... Okay, I'm up to date. I'm cool with what I'm doing. Okay, good. There are... Now, how do you make transitions? Let's make one. And then actually after that, I'm going to show you plugins that their sole job is nothing but transitions. As a plugin, there are plugins, there are sample libraries you can buy that are doing nothing but full-time transition work for you. Oh, I heard an audio glitch. Hopefully everything's cool. Oh, we're speechless. Good. I want the inspiration is what I'm about. So that's why we get together, and hopefully you guys are feeling inspired, and we'll keep doing more of these. Oh, I'm back to pause. I gotta hit pause on that. So I was working on an idea, and I'm going to take you guys along on it so that we're going to make it from scratch. Instead of me trying to make something to match that song, we're actually going to just do this. Delete that since it's backed up elsewhere. And let's move these over here. Here's what I had. I was working on a new song. Just a quick idea. So I have a cool pad, and then where's my, oh, here's the bass. Let me show you the bass. Dark snap. Then hitting the right frequency. How many transitions are in Del Norte? I'm guessing attacks are considered transitions. No. Attacks are more what you put on the attacks of sounds. Good question. Very good question. So let's look at that for a minute. Transitions, you have to, transitions are things, let's see, let's make sure there's no kickstart. Let's use one of the types of sounds like, oh no, you die. Well, let's do this. Let me make all these go away. No. I did edits to these, I guess, so they're asking questions. So if I'm on channel 1, maybe I'd go to glitch. So just to clear up, the attacks, if you go to something like the pluck category, these are a ton of things where there is an attack, cowbell, with a sound. So if I get rid of this volume of the organish, there's the cowbell. It's got a pitchy G on it. Now you could use this kind of like the special effect. Let's listen to our song real quick. Let's have it. Let's have a big hit. I'm gonna show you a cool trick. So let's first sequence this. 2, 3. And it doesn't make sense. It's totally out of context. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna record this with really lush reverb and a panning delay. And then I'm gonna bounce it as audio and reverse it. And then put it at the beginning, right when the drum hits. You'll see how we do this. So let's copy delays. Let's make them faster. So instead of 8s, we're gonna divide it into, okay, and the reverb, I think we're on a nice long reverb already. But I want more reverb, so I'm gonna go over here. Let's call up, where is the, where is it? Is it Voxango? No, Valhalla. Let's use Valhalla Shimmer. This is one of those lovely, like, oh my gosh, what the heck did you just do? So now when I hit play, and I want the size to be bigger, and a little feedback, so it's gonna do a cool, let's have it like, have some interesting stuff happening. Hear that? I mean, it sounds cool right there before the song starts, but we're gonna not use it there. Though its purpose is for something else. So I'm gonna hit Option Solo Lock, so that no matter where I go, this object is locked. And I'm gonna move it just a little bit in, It doesn't matter right now timing wise because this is going to become audio and then I'm going to have to manually place it. And then I hit bounce in place with control click and I say I want to call this Verby Belly Hitty. And we say I want to include the tail. So it's going to listen as long as there's any audio, it will keep recording it. Bam, there it is. So it has created an audio file and it has muted my original MIDI. Now what I'm going to do is go over here and I'm going to open up the audio editor. I'm going to select the whole thing and I'm going to say reverse right here. And then there's something else I need to move and that's called the anchor. See this? This little anchor is saying where, when you're moving objects in your sequencer, there's a little line that shows you where it's gonna hit. And when you're doing commercial work and stuff, you use this all the time. Now, if I wanted to, I could have it be the original, but you know how big? Let's have it be the original just for fun, and then I might change this to be here or something, because right in here is where all this impact stuff. But let's just say right there. So now when I look at this in Logic, it's very different. It's been reversed. If I solo and play it, here's what it sounds like. Let's hear it first. It starts growing a long time before that original impact. Cool, right? That was boom, boom, boom. I can see putting delays with that. I could see putting a flanger on this. I could bit shift it if I wanted to. There's all sorts of things you can start letting your creative juices go, ooh, I should try something like that. You know, I mean, this is where creativity is really fun to play with. Now I need to get rid of some of this tail because I want this to line up with the drum thing. So we might miss some of this very beginning part because I want this to be lined up to be right here at 1. So let's get it to be 1. Okay, so now let's play our song with this transition. And because I shifted this in, I'm going to go to this audio track. And if you look up here under more and stuff, there's a fade in. And you can actually have it program a fade in. And I'm going to actually double click and say like 5,000. So it makes a nice long fade in automatically. I don't have to do automation of volume or anything. And I'm done. So. Wow. Right? Isn't that cool? And then if you wanted to like trick it out, let's go even to something simple like the echoes, like I showed you in the other where I say eighth notes. So this way, and I'd also want to do this. Now at this point, I would go hit the A button and I would click and I click an automation there and then I drag this down. If you hold down Control and Shift, you can control curvature of your fade in. So I'm going to make it so that it's going to be this gradual fade in. You don't hear it at the beginning. And I want it to be full volume. Maybe at the full point. All right. Hold on one second. My daughter's birthday was yesterday, by the way. Say happy birthday, Hannah. Happy birthday, Hannah. Wherever you. That was Tom McCall. All right. So I know, she's 17. My daughter is 17 years old. It just, so crazy. Yeah, you know, I have a hard time. People are saying, what about like Machine 2? I have a hard time with those because it's not as easy to use. This is so much easier to use to do whatever I have in my mind. I know how to do it in this program. And that's for whatever you use, it doesn't matter. These tools, they've pretty much propagated themselves everywhere. You can do this in Ableton Live. I don't know Ableton Live. And I don't have time to stop and learn how to do this because they do it differently. It's like, you know, I share my knowledge on plugins. I'm going to show some like this on music production, but this can be useful in all sorts of places, right? So once again, here's what we got. Cool. See how that, here's without it. Let's mute it. Without it, you're just kind of like, what's happening? That's cool. What if it hit right there? If it hit right on the 4. Let's try that. So it doesn't hit on the upbeat for the drum groove because maybe it's kind of cool to be stark for a minute. Like you're like, you don't know what's going on. So let's try this. So maybe having it pop in weird places is kind of cool. But you see how that works. It's clay, and now you can do what you want with it. So I want to show at this point a couple, and we'll incorporate these ideas into this transition thing that I'm doing, right? Would be kind of cool if that last reverse part turned into +3 or +7 semitones. Sort of an intro. Yeah, you could go back and take this note here and transpose it to be something else or play a different chord. If I want, I could turn this into a whole music production. Let's kill the effects for a second. So and remember, I have the original sound here. When you're doing a bounce in place or you've created audio, there's all sorts of ways to create audio in your sequencing programs. Here, let's put this underneath it. So I have my very belly hitty, and then I still have, and let's do this. Let's go back to the instrument. We don't need that much. So I played a big G minor open stretch chord, right? So we could have right? I could do something like that. Quantize, repeat it again. Where's my bass? Let me name this bass because I keep so from the beginning, I don't need the click, so I'll turn the click off. Let me try that one more time. Some from 5. It's fun. We're just having fun, right? So let's play from Actually, I want it to be a transition thing. I want to follow the chords more. See if we can do it. Ah, one more time. Actually, I want the groove to start right there. So let's say 3, 2, 3. I like that better. So quantize, it's to a swing value. I want the strength to be about 85%. So 15% Skippy, 85% Logic. And now, what I do after I record something, hit the piano roll and fix it. Okay, so this should be the downbeat. So I'm gonna go to 4. Command T will split that note in half. Right there. Right there is that. Oh, that's supposed to. I'm using Option and arrow up and down. So I can go through the notes. I could get rid of notes, do stuff, whatever. Now, so cool. I like that. That's a fun idea. Cool. Glad you guys like it. Now, I was going to add more drums to it and all sorts of stuff because it needs to have more. If I wanted to add another track, I was going to do. Actually, we need. Now, I played weird stuff in there because I want to show another fun thing I love to do is just quantize it anyhow. And you get all sorts of unusual irregularities. And I want that tambourine to have ambience. So we go to Super Montro Drums. Let's solo that tambourine. So while this is playing, I can play with the tambourine. I want it to be up in pitch. We have a little pitchy G. Let's say I want to have it be a nice warm church reverb. And I want to high pass filter the reverb. That's too long. And then I want to pan these guys. So I want this to be here, but I want this sound to be over here. And I want this sound to be over here. So there. So I was playing 3 different sounds. I've been playing music since I was 4. So I do have that. God gave me that gift as well as the love of making sounds. So thank you. Yeah, that's cool. So let me show you another thing for making transitions. here, let's do this. This is just for you folks in Livestream. I'm going to give you this reverse sound. If you missed the live stream, you will miss this. Sorry, but I'm going to bounce this out. So I solo lock it. I'll show you a cool trick that I do all the time. Solo lock. Let me look at my automation, because I'll take off automation so that you have the full length. And I'll take off the delay so you can add delay to your own tempo in the future. And I hit bounce, and I say offline, PCM, and this is a reverse belly. Okay, I'm going to put that into my Dropbox public folder and share it with you. Let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to make you guys go away for a minute so you can't see. You get a look at your own chat. Just for a second. Trying to keep this a little bit private. There's a lot going on over here. Plugin Guru freebies. Maybe I will share this onto Facebook if you miss it. So let's put this over here. Yeah, Skater remix for sure. All right, copy the link. And here, I'll post the link into the chat. I think it works. Let me know if you can get it. I'll be really curious. This is something I haven't done before. The next step I wanted to show you is the effects that transitions that you can get that are pre-made in a way. In fact, I wanted to check something real quick because there's a library I use all the time from my friends at Ilio, and I don't know if it's still available or not. Go away, Will. It's called Transfusion. No. Nope, they don't have it anymore. Too bad. It was an audio library. Nope, they don't have it anymore. It's a library of nothing but transition effects. And it is so useful to have reverse noises and sweeps and bellies. And here I can show you what they sound like. Let me move this over here for a second to find it. Media. All files on my home computer. Sample tank. Sample libraries. Where is it? It's under effects. Special effects, did I call them? Oh, there's a couple different things I'm seeing here that yeah, there it is. So here is this used to be a $99 audio library when audio libraries were the big thing to buy. And there's overlongs. And if I hit play, and the overlong means oh, you guys got the WAV file. Yay. Awesome. Cool. So, and it goes on. Now, the long means that, and there's other companies that have all sorts of things. Shorts means it stops right on the downbeat. So if you go to, it stops. It doesn't keep fading out. But to take something like that and to drag it in, and let's see, I could put it to this track here. It'll let me do it. And then I can go up here and say, give me another track. Oh, wait, like that. So I could have, wait, undo. Have that be soft and fade in, and then put some sort of really cool reverb effect thingy on it, you know. We could say real quickly, just even like RC48 with a long reverb like this, and have it be mixed so it's like that, and softer. Coming up to this. And there's all sorts of ways to expand these libraries and to get sounds that are cool, right? So sound libraries is one place, and there's a whole bunch of companies that sell, you know, the Loop Masters and so forth that sell that. The other one is, and someone just mentioned it, Rise and Hit, right? Dominic, that's what we're going to show for a second. This is if you own the native. This I can't tell you what a great value it is to own the Native Instruments Complete, especially if you can stretch it and get Complete Ultimate. I know it's a lot of money, but they give you an incredible amount of value. So if I say new, oh wait, I need a new audio track, just a new audio track. Let's say 4 just to be fun in case I get carried away. If we go down to Contact, which I've moved to here, they got a select library with one-shots and nice fades. That's from Boo. Yes. So if we go over here to libraries, all of these come with Native Instruments Complete Ultimate. I haven't updated since like 11, I think. I didn't get 11. I didn't get whatever the newest one. I'm waiting for 12 is what I'm doing. But one of the things that came in the latest one was Rise and Hit. And this is really interesting because it's just crazy what they do. So there's first, let's start with pure swooshes, right? This is doing audio, but it's doing it in a cool way where you can actually say what the rise time is. And then you have after it the hit. And if you want, you can take down the volume of the hit elements so that it's just a rise, it's just a swoosh that leads up. Right? So if I was to put that at the beginning of my song, or right before, like I went before the groove hits, so let's get rid of our other effects that I've been playing around. I'll keep our cool reverse belly, but the other one I just showed you, I got rid of, so. And it's 4 measures, so I can actually start this on the downbeat. So I actually play notes 2, 3, 4. Why didn't it play? Oh, I'm on the hit part. They have the hits on different notes, so I can fix that by just going over here, move that to 1, and then transpose it down until I see. If you see this interface, there, I have it, so it's playing on a note now. It wasn't, it was playing up here, and it didn't make anything play sound, so down here. So now when I hit play, 2, let's change the length of time to be 16. And let's make sure that my note goes all the way to 16 beats. It calculates it, slows it down automatically. It's crazy. I don't know if it's playing different samples. Oh, that was not quite the right effect I wanted. I think I need to. Oh yeah, it needs to go 1 more measure. So let's go up here, stretch out my region so that I have the ability to make it to be 4 measures long. And now, here we go. Now it's really loud. And I want it to actually be a little different. Let's have it placed, I think, here. to hit right there. So let's shorten this down till it works. It didn't trigger the note. I think because this is 3. There it goes. So it needs to go 2 major measures in. 1. I'm kind of hunting and pecking. Oh, it didn't record, didn't play. Why aren't you playing? There we go. All right, 1 more measure in. So go to 4. Please play. And let's go just a little bit later so I can go to 4. So there. Now I can go through all of these transitions. I could go to all sorts of things and just change the length to be 8 because I know I have, and set to 8. Oh wait, move it to 8. Hello. And it will adjust it, change it to be both, and that's going to be both a rise and a hit. Cool. So there's a billion transitions. These are the swooshes. They've gotten incredibly creative. It's the most, you can go to hybrid instruments, Guitar Squad. Say sure. So it will load it up. Let's look at this. I know I need it to be 8. So I go over here and change it to 8. See what we got. So now you can play through. There's actually orchestral. So let's go to some strings, like a cool cluster swell. Sure, we want to try that out. Kid Anthem, I don't know if that's a question for the moment, my friend. Here we go. Oh, I need to make this 8. So it's just noise at this point. But if you listen to it, let's play it and see what it sounds like. For horror, crazy things like that. Very cool. Here's some more. So this does where you can actually define the transition fade in and fade out, I think, to be even different times. And you go, no, I want that to be 16. Watch this. It will call up different samples, stretch it out. How about using a female vocal? Sure. There's all sorts of possibilities, but transitions, I just want you to be thinking about. A lot of people forget about putting these into your track. Another type of transition I love to do all the time is LFO, trippy, speedy stuff. So let's see. I think I messed up my groove. Yeah, I was moving this. And I wasn't supposed to be moving that. That's my opening chord sequence. So let me fix that back to be on 1. There. Where'd my cord go? Oh. My horror stuff is still going on. So let's call up a different effect. I'll show you one other approach, and that's the LFO stuff I was talking about. We can even use something simple like, let's use Omnisphere, because that we can get to really quickly to do these kind of things. So go over here, say Omnisphere. And let's change this to be noise and turn it down. This will actually lead into the next question, which was my customer questions. I have 3 things to fix. Don't let me forget. 3 customer questions. So 2 of them are, how do you do that? One of them is, yes, BT's effects and stuff. There's all these libraries that have the effect category. Those effects are just dying to be used for transitions. Put them, reverse them, add effects to them. It's amazing what just taking a little time for sound design things like this can do to the track. Now, if I wanted to make my own noise sweep with this, I would want to go to the hard sync and increase this, because on the noise oscillator, that's stereo width. So there's stereo versus mono. Hear that? One a little bit warmer. Like there. And I want a 24 dB filter, let's say. Now, turn off velocity to the filter, except the fade out to be like that. Now the fade in is important, right? This is where it's really amazingly powerful in Omnisphere. When you go here, you have a sync button you can hit. And by doing that and then dragging this around, I can get this where I see 4 and select snap. Okay. Now let's turn this up in the mix so you can hear what it's doing. And actually, I think we might be able to follow along at home. So if we see, it's not quite. I want to make it more drastic. Let's make it more like a transition hit. Even more drastic. So, like, and the dog bark. So now it's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you heard that. It's one major thing. So let's get a little bit more resonance. And instead of 4, I don't know why they don't have it so it shows like 8 and 4 and nice helpful numbers. Hit lock and grab this and move it so it moves the tail. Get close to 8, then go to snap. And there. So now I've got 2 measures. 1. And actually, there's something on this MIDI track I think I need to get rid of. So get rid of this, because we're going to record our own. So 1, 2, 3, playing note downbeat. Okay. Now it's at the wrong place. That's the nice thing with this, is move it a measure in. Almost. I messed up. I needed to go to 9, I think. Yeah. Let's hear that one more time. Okay. So making transitions, and if I change my tempo, say that I wanted to have my tempo be 100. So if I because it is synced and the sync button is on, it will change tempos and follow whatever tempo I set this to be precise, which is really handy. Okay. So the sync on the envelopes is there for a reason. It's not just to be the rhythmic stuff, but for transitions, anything that's timing critical that the tempo might change, it's nice to be able to sync it and lock it up so that it will work the way you want it to. So that's one technique. Another technique is to do this. This is kind of fun. So we're going to use LFO. Let's get it set right. That's too wide. Not the right filter shape. So let's go looking through other filters. If I bring my cutoff down lower, that makes it so that the LFO will be heard when it goes up because the okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure my rate is enabled in, can you see this? I want to make sure you see this. This isn't set up yet. So I want to automate this. Right? I want to be able to do that. I have the LFO assigned to the filter cutoff. I have my settings here. I've brought it down so it's not too drastic, and I've brought up enough resonance that I can hear it. Right? So I right click and I say enable host automation. That registers it taking up one of the 512 slots available. So I can go over here and instead I say latch. Let's make sure I get rid of my MIDI note data because I'm gonna, oh, let's keep the MIDI note data. Okay, we'll just play around with it so we can see what we get come up with. So the note's already recorded, so. Okay, so that kind of worked the way I wanted. Let's play it back. You can see it's automated now. Okay, at this point I might like bounce that, and I've done this before where I'll actually solo and I'll repeat this note over here and I'll keep the automation straight so it's not the same. And actually let's do this. Let's make this really long and make the note take up the whole length. This is like my modular in a plug-in approach. So I can take this and I can see, make sure I'm not, I'm soloed on this. It plays. So now we go to Omnisphere and we just play. You just play with recording, and you could do this. Let's say instead of noise, let's go to samples. Hee 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 hee. And let's type in phrase. Because there's all sorts of phrases of all sorts of crazy stuff that might be really fun. And I'm in G minor, so let's play with that for a minute just to see what happens. Okay. Now it sounds weird. Trust me, I know this is weird, but follow along. Don't give up yet. Take this note. I need to transpose it to be G. And let's take my squeaky tunes here and control click and bounce. And say squeaky flute. Squeaky fluty. All right. So it now has that as audio, so I can manipulate it, I can move it around, I can take pieces of it. Okay, so I hit Command T while it was playing, which splits things into little segments. So then I can like go up here and like shorten, oh no, don't do that. It wants to do stuff that I don't want it to do. So click down here like this, make this short, make this short. This needs to get the beginning. I don't want that part. I just want this part. So now I could play each of these. I didn't hear any magic. Did you? Okay, that might be cool. I like that one actually. So let's get rid of these other ones for the moment. Just if I wanted to like store these and put this under another track and come back to them later. This is part of the process. It takes time. You gotta experiment. I'd probably use something to change pitch, you know. Turbo Scratcher, Auctioneer stuff. Yeah, Muskrat Love. So it's fun to experiment with this kind of stuff. It didn't work this time, but you know, there's 5 billion samples inside of Omnisphere to work with. So I could go back to this and I could call up a different sound and, you know, experiment with it. But I've got all, you know, wah, 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 wah. All those kind of things are really cool to put into tracks at times. So, which kind of leads to 2 of the customer questions. They refer up here. These are songs, and there was a question as to how, oh wait, what are you doing? My audio just kind of got weird. Voice over, huh. Oh, let's do this, no input. There we go. Oh, solo. One of the questions was for this. What's doing this noise beginning thing? Okay, how are we doing that? Infected mushroom. Yes, that's how you get infected mushroom kind of sounds, things like that. So, let's do this. You're gonna cry, but I'm gonna delete this whole thing. Boop. I'm a big believer in writing music and deleting it. I've done it for years and years and years. I write ideas and I don't always save them. It's just keep the juices flowing. I used to freak out when we were doing the Wave Station. I'd sit in the corner in San Jose with a Triton and I'd do a groove and I'd play it for my friends and they'd be like, oh, that's a cool groove. And then I'd turn off the Triton and it goes away and they'd be like, oh, what? It's like, yeah, there's more where that came from. You got to be to where it's not like everything is a sacred, at least in my opinion. It's more an exercise in the muscles of songwriting. You want to be writing all the time. So be writing all the time, right? You're all writing all the time, right? Yes, flanger, chorus, something like that on noise will give you that kind of an effect. So let's find our drums. I can make a Kraftwerk kit from this. These are all a little bit ringy too long. So if lock is off. This is why we have hold on the drums for the amp, because you can bring out, if I didn't have hold, either I have too much tail. Here I can get the tail to be like really fast to go away, but I can, you can get like gated effect type of things. And let's go to like 128. And let's make sure that I just make sure that there's not anything else happening music-wise over here. These guys are muted. I hope this is helping. Is this helping? Is this giving you guys food for thought? Let me know. Tell me in the chat. Okay, so we got to go much faster because they're like about 150 beats per minute. Quantize just to 1/8 notes. They're faster than that. My goodness. Those Kraftwerk guys, they were serious, weren't they? Okay, so let's go to Omnisphere. We have noise. I don't have noise in Del Norte, so to speak. So find out where. Here's Omnisphere. I want to go really quickly to delete automation, delete all track automation, just to make sure I'm at scratch. I don't want anything happening until I want it to happen, right? So we're close. We're already started in the right direction here, but let's go back to being noise. Let's sync this. Be pulse. Let's see, what was their noise sound? Okay. So I don't know if we're going to get that bright with this particular. Oh, let's turn off solo for a second. Let's see, we need to have this set to to note legato, so it's all right, and we need to mute. That's close enough. That will get us into the ballpark for the vibe. And then if we needed to tweak it to be exact, we could try, but I don't really think we're going to do that. But to give you an idea of how they did that, let's get this like that. So now it can repeat. Need to make the note length. Okay. So let's just set cycle to repeat that wonderful. And then to effects. And since it's just A, we could choose whether we want to just do to A, because we might put something else on B. And we don't want it to have this flanger type of an effect. Modulation, go flanger, maybe retro. Now the delay time. They were tight delays. Let's hit sync and let's have it be 2 majors. Four majors. Now the feedback. You can invert it. And then add EQ to this. So we have something kind of in that. You can go from 50% up to 50% is where you should start, and because when you go to 100%, you don't have any of the original. I want to have a little bit of that, the brightness of that with that. And then to nail it, we go to Contact 5, go to the files, go to the bases, maybe a dark snap. What was their bass? Their bass was a really tight bass, if I recall. Unmute, solo play. Okay, so just big Mogi thing. Because they were into the Mogi vibe. So if we were to go here and let's turn up this, and let's have this also be a waveform. And there's oh, it's on to use. Why is it doing that? That's interesting. It's not because of this. Turn off the filter. Have this be a sawtooth. Saw DSP. That's strange. Let's see. Try this. Make my ears ring. Anyway, you get the idea. So that's how that sound effect was made. Another one of the transitions that was interesting is found at the end of a piece from Pat Metheny. Let me show you that real quick. It's very loud, sorry. I love the drums right here. Oh, come on, don't do that. So here's this transition. You hear it. And that actually wasn't even a good transition. There's a gap right there. I had to make it tighter. But we hear that? It's just a cool noise. Rise and Hit could do sounds like that all day long. That's how they did that sound. It's just a reverse sound. You can hear there's like a reverse reverb. There's whistle blowing. It's, I don't know what it was, but it's reverse sound. So similar thing, but that's two different examples of transitions that are kind of fun. Finally, I had a question that was, it was a really good question. Someone was using Airwave in Omnisphere and was coming up with an interesting problem, and it took a little bit of time to solve it. And I want to share it with you because if you're using these kicks, you might have this similar problem happen. Make that go away. In Airwave, Volume 1, there are all these kicks down here. Hear that pitch changing? If you hold down on the keys, but if you play short, It's like, what's happening? Why is it doing that? So it's one of these things where you have to hit the triangle and notice that pitch is being controlled by the filter envelope. So that leads you to take a look at the filter envelope. And here's the problem. That release is really long. So if you're playing short notes, there are random times where it's gonna like stop the pitchy G right here, and then it hits this envelope, which is gonna gradually take it down in pitch. It's like it's playing along fine, and then all of a sudden it goes crazy. So if you take the release time and you shorten it, now it's consistent every time. And you might have that same problem with this second sound, so just bring its release on this pitchy G not on the filter equally to shorten it if necessary. But pitchy G's, you want the EG to be fairly short unless you want to have it do the little sliding, gliding stuff at the end. And then lastly, I had one last tech question from a customer that I said I would show. And that is bonus content. How do you find out where the bonus content is supposed to go? How do you get it placed? This is one of those questions. I cannot tell you how many times I am typing tech support to help with this problem. So here's the thing. To find out where bonus content, any library you buy from me, you have a folder with bonus content of bonus envelopes, bonus effect presets. If you go to Omnisphere and you hit the little logo right here, this is how you check for updates to make sure your plugin is up to date, which you should do all the time. And then hit diagnostics. And this opens up after a minute, this page that will tell you exactly where Omnisphere is looking. This is where you need to navigate to. It's my Steam is on my sample tank, sample libraries, Steam folder. So here it is. This is the, wait, move this over here. Here is the Steam folder in my, you can see the track. My sample tank to the sample libraries folder to Steam. Go to Omnisphere, to the settings, to presets. And there's now this user that happened to, this was developed in version 2 of Omnisphere. They changed it to where there's a separate user folder. And the user folder is where you put effects. If you go down the list, you'll see something that says racks. And inside of here is where you put the number 6, the Plugin Guru effects racks. If you've bought Mega Magic Guitars Part 2, it comes with these really cool distortion presets, which will configure the distortion for all these really cool rock guitar type things, okay? If you go to the arpeggiator page, here's where the arpeggiators go. If you go to the envelope page, here's where you put the envelopes, and it looks like this. It says the name of the envelope folder, and then inside are the presets. You cannot have, I can't have these if I had a new folder, and if I took everything and I put it into this new folder, I can't have it like this where I open this up and I see a folder and then I see presets. That's one layer too deep and it won't look for those. So you have to take these guys and you have to put them back into that folder preset right there, and I can get rid of this because we're not using that. So that's the flow for all the bonus presets that come with the library. There's granularity presets if you have Creaturesque. Those are really, really cool and useful. There's the stack presets. If you own OMG, it comes with these stack presets. If you have the arpeggiator presets for OMG or Percussa, or the ones that just come with every library, they go into the arpeggiator folder. And again, when you open this up, I found out actually for the arpeggiator, it will let you do folders inside of folders. So I now have organized the Percussa and the OMG to have the presets inside of the folder, so there's more organization. And this way, when you go to the arpeggiator and you click right here and you get to the bottom of the list, which you can't see because, let's do this. Make that go, oh wait, I gotta zoom this all the way to full screen. So go like that. if I click right here on the presets, at the very bottom of the list, when you get to the OMG, see how they're in folders, presets inside of presets? I don't think I could do that for where these envelopes show up. Hit the triangle. Right here's your envelope preset. These have to be like this. I don't think I can do another layer down for those types of presets. For granularity, the presets would be found right here. Click granularity, and here's all these different presets for that. For the effects, they are right here. Any one of these, auxiliary, A, B, or comment, if you click right here, here are your rack presets. And these are where you'll find all the distortion, the combo. Combos are supposed to be where you put this on a layer A sound, and then this is the common set. So I made some more complex effect combinations. There's distortions, the effects. Mix are mastering things to put on the master bus for the common bus. So if I wanted to have a certain kind of a mix, I could go down here to these and get all sorts of different things. Then there's phaser settings for chunky and retro and roast and all that kind of stuff. So that's where the bonus presets, that's where they go on your hard drive. And that's where they show up inside of Omnisphere. So I wanted to cover that because I get asked that question so often. All right, we're about to wrap up. Any questions from the gallery? Thank you for hanging out. I hope that was helpful for you guys. If not, well, we'll give it a minute. You try to keep database the data database management. That's Spectrasonics. That's not me. That's their organization for how these folders have to be organized. But I'm glad you guys, yeah, oh, I guess I do that for when I release the presets for you to use, but that's how they're organized. That's how it's set up in Omnisphere. Thank you. I guess that was a nice compliment. I should have just said thank you. All right, any questions? Is there anything to win? Not right now. The way to win, I'll point out one more time, is go to Facebook. And please make sure that you both like and share this post on Facebook. Sunday night, I was going to end the sale tonight, but because it seems better to go through the whole weekend and have it be a weekend sale, so I'm going to let the sale go until Sunday night. So this library is $44 until Sunday night, and at 9 o'clock on Sunday night, I will be letting people know they are winners of one of the 3 $50 credits. And we're over 90. So there's a lot of people in the pool. Jump in the pool. Share if you don't mind. I appreciate it greatly to get more people to know about me. That's one thing I need to do, is get more customers that are aware I exist. So thank you for helping. Will there be a package Del Norte chill? Yes, there will be a package for the 2. I should get that out sooner rather than later. I'm sorry I haven't done it yet. After the sale, after the introductory sale for the contact version, I'll put the 2 together as a bundle. I will do that. Thank you, Bernie. I appreciate that. Any other questions? How is Mega Magic Cello? Incredible. Just incredible, but I'm saving it. That's gonna come out probably November, December. Christmas present. I want it to be a Christmas present for everybody. Yes, I'm looking at doing a Razor pack. So get your Razor plugin out and dust it off. I also have a real fun thing coming for Omnisphere customers for Halloween. I have something kind of cool. Keyscape, probably next year. I'll do something for Keyscape. We'll do a library for it at some point, I think. There's enough stuff in there to play with. But it has to be for Omnisphere, so you have to own Omnisphere and Keyscape. So make sure that you qualify by next year. Thank you for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Oh, shout out. Everybody give your shout out. Where are you at? I'm shouting out from Portland, Oregon. Ortogon. Shout out! Shout it out! All right. Holland, Sweden. MC Sound says, what is Keyscape? All right. I'll show you real quickly. Keyscape. Oh, wait. Let's get that go away. Keyscape is a library that Omnisphere or Spectrasonics has released. Let me show it to you. Wow, this got kind of messy, didn't it? Look at all the shout outs. Englandshire. Oh, people like the lesson. Good. I'm glad you guys like the lesson. That's most important. If we go over here and we say Keyscape, I think it's down here under Spectrasonics. Keyscape. It's a piano collector keyboard is what they're calling it and marketing it as. It starts off with pianos, a C7. It takes a minute to load. These are very large libraries, like into the gigabytes too. And I hate the envelopes. I will tell you right now. It drives me, it's not my favorite, but bring up the transition. And then you can, I need pianos to breathe. I shouldn't have said that so strongly. But beyond pianos and Rhodes, there are so many cool, unique instruments. There's the Wing Upright. There's Celeste, Rhodes. These are all your standards, the Wurlitzer. But then you get into these really cool things that this Chimatron, Vibra harps. These. Clavichords. Okay. There's all sorts of presets for these. The clavinet, pianet. I saw this, the real instrument, when I went down to see the Keyscape release, and call it the Reckoning version. Really cool stuff. There's all these unique instruments. The electric harpsichord. I'm only halfway through the library. Harmonochord. So there's a lot of unique instruments in this beyond just piano, electric pianos, and clavinets. The MKS-20. JD800. Student Butterfly. Again, you can go over here to the some things don't give you access to the release. It's just a little unnatural to me. Wurlitzers, so forth. So Keyscape is a library that shows up as its own plugin, but it can also show up inside of Omnisphere. And the fun thing with it being inside of Omnisphere, and Spectrasonics has done a really good job already. When you go to the libraries, you can say here and say the Keyscape library, and here's all the presets of Keyscape. When you call these up, it's really cool. It keeps that cool interface with the parameters and stuff, and then if you hit this little X, now you have this sound inside of Omnisphere. I could go over here, I could turn on granular. I could call up one of my granular presets. Freeze it. Do that kind of stuff really easily. And so if you look, there's the Keyscape Creative. And these are all using the Keyscape library in cool ways with all the Omnisphere library. So this is like 1,200 patches. So please, if you own Omnisphere and Keyscape, it's there for you to play with. Okay? And then I'll do a library in the future, but there's so many sounds already, and they're really good. Okay? Yes, Keyscape Creative. Make sure that you go through this. It's like 1,200 patches going all over the place. They're using the Keyscape sounds, and then they're using so it's creative stuff using the Keyscape sounds. So this is kind of in the direction of a library I would do. But yes, this coming month, a chill library for Razer is coming out, and it's really cool already. It's one of my favorite plugins. I've done 2 libraries for it already, and I can't get enough of it. So that's coming out. Something for Halloween for Omnisphere users. Continuing on cello for later this year. OMG2 we're working on. Airwaves working on with me. Lots going on before the end of the year. I have a lot of work to do. Okay? So, pure inspiration. Thanks. I appreciate all the support. Glad you guys are here to join along, and I'm very glad this is helpful. I will see you next week. We'll do this again. Yes. Bye, Plugin Guru family. You guys rock. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. The sharing on Facebook is awesome. Thank you. And we'll see you soon. All right. I'm going to go celebrate birthday with my daughter. Okay. So I'll see you guys later. Be well. Thank you again. Bye.